Greetings and welcome back to another reaction video. Today's video is entitled 5 Home Appliances I Only Used After Moving to America. I'm Mr. H and you are my friends as my family and I delve into all things USA. We are obsessed with your amazing country and we're on a journey to learn and be educated about your wonderful country. If you think you're up to the task of educating me, you've got your bloody hands full. But subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell and be notified every time we upload a new video. Another opportunity to educate this Brit. Like the video, all that good stuff. I'm gonna quit my jibber jabber. Let's get on with the video.
Hello, this video is sponsored by Wondrium. I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to home appliances. Specifically, home appliances that I only encountered after moving to the United States of America. And as I slowly continue this wild journey of moving into my first American house, it occurred to me that I already have some of these home appliances in this very house. And so come join me and apparently my cat as we go and look at 5 home appliances that I only encountered after moving to America. And if you'd like to follow my new journey of becoming an American, living in an American house with American people and an American cat, he's actually Russian, and you're not subscribed to my channel, do that now. Without further ado, let's go and take a look at some stuff. Oh, cat, get out of the way! You've heard me talk about ceiling fans, you've heard me talk about air conditioning units, but you haven't heard me talk about one of these. No, it's not an Imperial droid, right? It is, in fact, a dehumidifier. It actually isn't. This is editing, Lawrence. I've since discovered that what past Lawrence has in front of him there is an air purifier. But the points that he's about to make about dehumidifiers are both salient and necessary. So for the next minute of your lives, you will pretend that the item in question is a dehumidifier. And we'll all go about our lives as if this never happened. Back to you, past Lawrence, and you might want to move the air purifier to the side so that we can see you. And it's so bloody big that you can't see me, so and the reason that I haven't spoken much about dehumidifiers is that A, they're infernally dull, and 2, until recently I didn't even know what they were. Because in Britain, for reasons that are similar as to why we don't have air conditioning units, dehumidifiers are quite rare. Now, of course, there'll be 1 or 2 British people watching going, I've got a dehumidifier, I know, my channel is not scientifically backed. But for the most part, in Britain, we don't use them, and I know they don't because I've done some really deep research on Quora. Whereas in a lot of American homes, you will find them. And of course, one of the chief reasons for that is that here in the Midwest and other parts of the United States of America, it can get ridiculously humid. But you know what? It can in Britain too. So why don't we use dehumidifiers? After all, if you allow humidity to accumulate in your house, it can lead to things like mildew. Well, the reason that people on Quora consistently gave is that the UK simply just doesn't get hot enough to justify it, which I suppose is fair enough, but we've been using one of these for a couple of years now, and I have to say the air quality in this house is fantastic since we've been using this. It's not switched on. Have we been using this? Yeah. So the air quality in here is just good anyway, so once I switch this on, I'll have 10 times the oxygen that everybody else has. No, I know it doesn't work that way. And welcome to my kitchen, where I'm eagerly awaiting my 9th cup of caffeine of the day, and while you might think that's weird, I do live with a cat. But in order to facilitate that, I have here a coffee maker, which most Americans will be familiar with. And don't get me wrong, coffee makers do exist in Britain. It's just that they're nowhere near as commonly found as they are in American homes. There's a couple of reasons for this. Number 1, just as was the case in my family, us Brits famously prefer tea, whereas us Americans prefer coffee. And a lot of the time when we do make coffee in our British houses, many of us prefer instant coffee, the preparation of which is similar in many ways to making tea, minus the tea bag. So often, one of these isn't required, but a lot of Americans I speak to say that instant coffee is terrible. As somebody who never drank coffee when I lived in the UK, I can honestly go either way with it now. But ultimately, I do prefer having a machine that does what I tell it, because again, I'm elitist. Now, it does already have coffee in it, so I'm not going to brew any more. You'll just have to make do with this stock footage of coffee being brewed. I think you all know what it's like to see coffee being made, so I don't know why I did that.
Little dispensers.
You may remember in my home tour video that I briefly introduced you to this fridge/freezer. And I specifically pointed out that it's got this little touchscreen that dispenses ice. And the reason that I did that is because A, it was a really cool feature, and B, we don't really go for this kind of thing in the UK. Once again, our kitchens are quite a bit smaller. So that means there's not a lot of room to have fridges that are as tall as I am and as wide as I was about 9 years ago. And so because of that, our fridges don't really have room for bonus features like this. And when I talk about bonus features, I'm not just talking about ice cubes. The thing I really want to talk about is the cool water dispenser. That's right, instead of having to go through all of the rigmarole of filling your cup with ice, then walking over to the sink and then pouring water into that and then waiting for the ice cubes to cool the water down, you've got a cool water supply right here. It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable, although it takes about a minute to pour, which is a bit of a letdown because you're standing here trying to fill the void and the awkward silence between words while it pours and you talk to your audience. Still going. Still going. I actually hate this feature. One thing that my cat and I don't hate is birds, although for completely different reasons to each other. Can you remember in the old apartment when I befriended a family of mourning doves? Well, ahead of spring, I thought it'd be a great idea to learn more about birding in North America. And so this week, when I've had time in between packing boxes, I've been learning all about birding in the fantastic Wondrium series, the National Geographic Guide to Birding in North America. Did you know, this is unbelievable, right? There is a bird species that only exists in central Florida. Doesn't that blow your mind? It's called the Florida scrub jay and looks like this. And already from this series I've learned a ton of other stuff, which is weird because those mourning doves assured me that there was nothing more to know.
Top load washer.
You join me here in my basement, or more specifically, my laundry room, and behind me we have this beautiful model.
This is huge. It's massive. I'd love to do a video. I did ask you all if you wanted to see a video of our house. Would you like a brief overview of each room, or would you like us to go into a little bit more detail of each room, so maybe the kitchen, and go through with the washing machine and the tumble dryer in there? Let me know in the comments below. But it always amazes me, particularly when I visit my sister. They're just massive washing machines, and yeah, the dryers are just huge.
Right here, which, you know, it might look like a futuristic toilet, but it does the opposite of a toilet and actually cleans your clothes. That wasn't an admission of any kind. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, we have washing machines in Britain, you know, but just in a British accent. And yes, of course we have washing machines in Britain, but this is not just any old washing machine. This, quite specifically, is a top load. And the only time that I ever heard the word top load in the UK was a laundrette, or as they say here in the Midwest, laundromat, or as they say down in Texas, washateria. But it would be very rare to find one of these top loader machines, in other words, a machine in which you put the clothes in from the top, in UK houses. And
it makes sense to do it like that. We have the side ones and it's all fitted into the kitchen and things like that. So, but it makes sense to have it like this, for me.
There's a very good reason for that. And that reason is that in most British houses, we actually keep our washers and our dryers, or sometimes a hybrid of the two, in our kitchen under the kitchen counter. So you can't really drop clothes into it because they just land in spilt gravy. Whereas I've seen a few of these in American homes, and this one specifically becomes the first top loader that I've ever lived with. Not in the same way that you'd live with a wife or a pet, but it's here and it's nice. And the good thing about it is it's easy to use. I've never used one, so I don't really know how it works. Not at all.
Huge dryer.
And finally, next to it is this one. And despite its appearance, it's not an oven.
Yeah,
that would be...
I was just thinking it looks a bit like an oven. Obviously, I knew it wasn't, but...
a quicker way to dry your clothes and shrink them. This is, in fact, a tumble dryer. Again, I'm not going to stand here and claim that we don't have tumble dryers in the UK. Clearly, that would be a lie. But as I said a moment ago, sometimes they are hybrids with the washing machine. So you wash the clothes and dry them in the same unit. But even when we Brits do have standalone tumble dryers in our houses, they're usually pretty small. Got to be careful of the stovetop. I've just remembered it's not an oven. And again, the reason for that diminished size is that we have to fit these tumble dryers into a kitchen. Those kitchens are usually smaller than the ones you will find in the United States. So to economize space, we shrink them down, not like in a sci-fi way, but as if they were clothes in an oven. Whereas this absolute beast is massive. Join me now as we take a tour of the inside of my tumble dryer. Can't. It won't close. I can't close the door. It's too big. Did it? I did it. We're fine. So obviously having a house with a basement or even an add-on laundry room of any kind means that you just got all this space to be able to justify bigger units. And that is a lot of American houses.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I'm now going to go and use my actual oven because I lost a little bit of weight last year and my clothes are too big.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. What a brilliant video. I love Lawrence so much. If you did enjoy that, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps us out, particularly with the algorithm. And if you would like to comment below about other things you might think us Brits would find interesting, let us know in the comments below. Again, if you think you are up to the task of educating us, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. And all that leaves me to say is take care, God bless, and see y'all in the next video.